I'm not going to make a lot of friends with this blueprint, but here it is. The Sixers send James Harden to Phoenix in a 3-team deal, bring back some assets, not CP3. I'm not bringing back Chris Paul. He's too old. I'm not doing that. We are trading Tobias Harris for some small pieces. We're talking Eric Gordon, Robert Covington, and Terrence Mann. We went through a lot of Tobias Harris trades. This is one I think is relatively realistic, and I'll get into why. We are going to bring in Max Strus, and we are going to re-sign Paul Reed to a 3-year, around like $24 million contract, $8 million per. So my starters are Tyrese Maxey, Eric Gordon, Terrence Mann, PJ Tucker, and Joel Embiid. For me personally, I am giving Maxey every opportunity to be my one this season. We're going to get a ton of DHOs and driving kicks in Nick Nurse's offense. That means you need to hit open threes from the corners. Rocco last year shot 9 of 22. Gordon shot 14 of 31. Mann shot 34 of 101, and Tucker shot pretty like average, like 35%. So we're bringing in some wings. Let's talk about another wing, Terrence Mann. He's not a high volume scorer, but he's a guy that can do a little ball handling. He's a guy that has really good defense, really good rebounder, an ideal fit next to Embiid and Maxey. He's one of those like high energy guys that can bring a lot to the court. He signed on for 2 more years at $22 million total. He also started 36 games for the Clippers last year, shooting 43% from 3, and he had a +7 net in those games. So he's only 26, and he's been getting better and better. He's like a taller Patrick Beverley, if you ever watched him play. He's I think an underrated player. Eric Gordon, veteran guard, useful floor spacer, non-guaranteed $20 million salary for next year. Obviously, the more floor spacing, the better for Embiid. And then you talk about Rocco, and I know Rob is going to hate this one, but hear me out. His help in off-ball defense would be much needed here. He had a ridiculous 1.8 steals and 1.5 blocks per 36 minutes last year. Yes, he's streaky shooting, Rob, but he ended the season shooting nearly 40% from 3 while attempting 8.6 3-point attempts per 100 possessions. The Sixers absolutely must shoot more 3-pointers next season, and those attempts per 100 possessions is more than 80% of the Sixers roster in 2023. The Sixers were also a terrible rebounding team. Rocco averaged 10.4 rebounds per 100 possessions. That's more than every other Sixer not named Joel Embiid and Paul Reed. So for me, next season is going to be a tough pill to swallow. But I just want the Sixers to focus on the Sixers for once. I want them to build something that's lasting or longer lasting organically while establishing a new culture, a new way to play, a more modern type of Sixers basketball. I want the Sixers to stop throwing garbage against the wall every offseason and expecting different results. It hasn't done a damn thing for this franchise. Why not try a different approach? I'm trying to see what I got in Tyrese Maxey next year. That is the goal. It is definitely a season where you're not going to have high expectations, but you look at what they could do beyond with more cap space in 2024.
Interesting. Rocco coming home. I think you got a lot of process lovers that would love that, actually. And as I see Rob shaking his head because he can't dribble, he can't make layups, and I'm sure he gets in lanes though. He does getting passing lanes. That's what Rocco does. Rob, go ahead. Good. I'm a known. Well, you guys don't know me that long. I'm a Rocco hater. Hate Rocco. So go ahead. Go, Rob.
Oh wait, hold on. You're muted. Hold on. Gotcha.
You're muted up.
There you go.
If Robert Covington is in a Sixers uniform next year, I don't know if I can actually provide any fandom, because if Sixers fans have annoyed me the last 3 years the way that they have, when those morons come back out of their little cockroach holes to tell me how great Robert Covington is, and I'm not saying you, Deibs, I'm talking about like those people that truly believed Robert Covington was a humongous difference maker when he played with the likes of Brandon Davies and guys of that nature, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, I just, I can't, like, it would pain me in such a way to see Robert Covington. I'm all about a different approach. I agree with Deibs on that. I think there has to be a different approach. But I can't. I mean, I'm telling you right now that the battles that I had with the analytics department that told me Robert Covington was a great 3-and-D guy, I know.
We pick on Robert Covington here, but he is clearly the throw-in in this.
Yeah,
deal.
let's be honest. Like, he's not going to be getting a lot of minutes in this deal. Like, he's like the kind of the last.
I opened with him. But
guys, it's honestly like just it's like a PTSD thing. I don't think I can watch Robert Covington in a Sixers uniform and actually not feel like, oh my God, here we go.
But what you're trying to do, and I think the theory is correct, is you're trying to surround Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey with as many two-way wings as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Melton off the bench. You have Mann, who is an up-and-coming defensive player. You have Daniel House. You still have Paul Reed. You've still got Jalen McDaniels. You've got PJ Tucker, who Tucker low-key could look a lot better in the Nick Nurse system as well. So I think there's more two-way guys surrounding your two stars in Maxey and Embiid. That was kind of the concept.
Yeah, and listen, and I love the concept. I am much lower on the offensive side of Robert Covington than a lot of people. I don't think he's a good offensive player. I think he misses far too many shots at the rim, and that was when he was younger. I think that streaky is a nice way of saying every now and again he would hit some threes. Like, I mean, that's just the way. And I know stats and all that, but I don't know, man. Like, that's where my eye test of basketball play, and I just can't watch Robert Covington play. He drove me. And look, I was the same guy. I was the same way about Andre Iguodala when he was here. I hated Andre Iguodala, and he's a good player. He's a great player, right? He's a great player. But like, I always felt Andre Iguodala needed to be on the Golden State Warriors to be the great player, whereas a lot of people, Ed Stefanski, thought he was the star, and he never was.
He's a good role player.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Deibs, and you're right. Two-way players are going to be huge. I just hope that they find better two-way players than Robert Covington. That's all.
Well, Covington's not really part of this deal. Let's be honest. What's he going to play? He'll barely play. I like your comp to Terrence Mann, to Patrick Beverley. That's a grit and grind Philadelphia type of feel that people will love. And he's always been rumored in trades, like back to Brett Brown. Like, he's always come up in, like, could he come here? Terrence Mann when he was on the Magic even. So I like that. And then let's not sleep on Eric Gordon in this deal. That you're going to provide spacing on the floor to give Embiid options to throw the ball to that might actually knock down that three-pointer. So I think the team overall will be better. What I really like the most about this, and I went back and forth when I did mine, is letting Maxey take the reins as the point guard guy.
Yes.
That's a huge thing that if Harden doesn't come back, that we need to see, because if he does or doesn't is irrelevant to me. We just know what we do next year, because next year Harris comes off the books and then you can make a move. You could kind of use this year as a stopgap to see that, if that makes sense.
It's like the Jalen Hurts year, and maybe he does take that next step like Hurts did.
Yeah.